To the welcome to the Success Express workshop. Um, I'm Sheldon Prunovich, the facilitator for this particular seminar, webinar. And I just want to mention, the chamber, the mission of the chamber is to be a dynamic business organization striving to promote growth, prosperity, and quality of life for our members and the entire community. And the workshop is to help our members build their professional and businesses and develop them. And each workshop is designed to be interactive. And we bring experts like Mike Savage here to give us some very valuable information. We ask if you can turn on your cameras so it's just easier for Mike to see people and react to the crowd. And so we have a lot to accomplish. I would like to thank Central One Federal Credit Union as being a sponsor of these workshops and introduce Owen Russell from the Central One Federal Credit Union to say a few words.
Okay. Thank you, Sheldon. I'm Owen Russell, Vice President of Retail Services here at Central One. Central One is proud to sponsor the Quarter 9 495 workshop series. For those not familiar with credit unions, we are a financial cooperative that is 100% owned by our customers, whom we refer to as members. We offer personal and business banking, all forms of insurance, as well as investment and retirement planning services for individuals and businesses. We are truly a one-stop shop for all your financial needs. Since our founding in 1952, Central One has grown to be one of the largest credit unions in Massachusetts. We are a perennial award winner in the Worcester Telegram and Gazette's Best of Central Mass Reader Survey, not only in credit union and financial planning categories, but our Oak Tree Insurance Agency has won Best Insurance Agency in Central Mass the past 3 years. We are grateful that those we serve appreciate our unique ability to meet all their financial needs holistically under one roof. Again, we are pleased to sponsor this workshop series and hope you enjoy today's program.
Thank you, Owen. And now I'd like to introduce Mike Savage, our speaker today. And Mike is a very accomplished serial entrepreneur, international keynote speaker, coach, angel investor, and CEO of the Savage Secrets. Has over 3 decades of hands-on experience and successful creation of several multi-million-dollar companies. He's driven by an unrelenting passion to transform overwhelmed entrepreneurs into confident, fearless CEOs. His achievements in a company scaled from a single idea into a global powerhouse, generating over $250 million in sales to industry giants like Walmart, Target, Kohl's, Sam's Clubs, BJ's, Costco's, and the list goes on. His startup quickly scaled to employ over 50 people to bring in over $25 million in sales. He's, as I said, a sought-after speaker. And rather than take up most of the seminar telling you about him, I'd like to bring him in here, but just want to let you know outside his work, he doesn't always work. He enjoys spending time with his wife, Donna, staying active with mountain biking, weightlifting, kayaking, and walking around the Buffer Mill Reservoir in Charlton. He also loves traveling with his daughters, Bailey, an engineer manager, and cheering on his son Brand, a graduate student and baseball captain at Babson. He's passionate and loves all his Boston sports teams. So go Celtics, Bruins, Patriots, Red Sox, and go Mike Savage.
Thank you, Sheldon. And thank you, Carlene, and thank you, Central One. Super excited to be here. It's funny, whenever I hear bios, my bio, anyone else's bio, it's like no one ever talks about the pain and suffering and how much shit they've gone through over the years. It's like, my God. But I'm super grateful to be here today. It's fun. Sometimes this word sales can become a nasty word, like, oh, sales. Well, it doesn't have to be. And so I really hope that today can be super interactive, like the chat box. Let's light it up. Any questions you have as we're going through, would love to answer them. I put a couple things in the chat box. This is called a workshop. Like I love what Sheldon said, Success Express Workshop. And so we're going to do a little bit of work today in addition to doing a little fun, having a little bit of training. So if you could, at least let's start with put in the chat box what town you're from. You know, I know that there's all, you know, they're all Central Mass 495 corridor groups, but you know, just so we can get a sense of where we're from. Oh my God, Allison is here. Oh, so great to see you. Mendon, Shrewsbury, Worcester. Cool. Auburn, love it. I grew up in Auburn, Kate. So very cool. So welcome. I'm psyched to be here. Promise we're gonna have some fun with sales. Now some of you could be saying, hey, Savage, there ain't no way in hell I can have fun selling. Well, I am aware that it may not be as exciting to talk about sales, or maybe not as excited as I typically get when doing sales. But honestly, sales is more of a mindset challenge than a skill set challenge. So if we almost switch it from sales to how do I ask good questions, you're gonna find out that it can be actually pretty fun. Now, based on my experience of doing these workshops for many years, you might be thinking, all right, Savage, what the hell are you going to sell me? There's nothing to sell. Rest assured, I am here to max out with content. And for those that are here for information and content for your businesses to grow them, I want to over deliver, give you as much value as humanly possible. But sometimes there is that second type of person that knows that the information gets them started in insights and strategies, and experience helps them grow. So throughout the event, I'm just going to give you an opportunity to, if you want to grab a private one-on-one chat with me, love to do that. I popped in a couple things into the chat box. The first is a file. It says 495 Chamber Ideal Client Profile. So if you are not on a phone and not driving, this can become awful when you're doing this driving. So don't do that, but download that file, because we're going to, as we go through, we're going to work on, just going to do a couple little things that are going to kind of, okay, how do I take my business to that next level? So I'm going to do a screen share now. And give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. I just want to make sure that means it. Awesome. Thank you. All right, triple threat. Only 3 ways to grow your business in 2025. And I actually learned this or heard this many years ago. I was at a Tony Robbins event. Some dude comes up on stage and says, there's only 3 ways to grow your business. And I'm sitting back in the audience like, dude, you got no idea. There's hundreds of ways to grow your business. Guess what? There's only 3. So egg on my face. But I'm going to dig into each of these today. We're going to have hopefully a little bit of fun. And and again, there's a bunch of free downloads that I put the link in, and I'll put it in again. But like I said, I would love if this was, you know, the chat box was lit up. I'm going to stay as long as anyone wants to do Q&As at the end. So let's get ready to rock. You know, Sheldon did a really nice job of introducing me, so I'm not going to go into this. But my passion, my mission, the thing that I do in my world right now is I turn overwhelmed entrepreneurs into confident CEOs. And again, the little tiny print down the bottom, so they can live a great life. I've worked with so many people that build a business that they hate, or build a life business and it makes them miserable. That's not fun. And I've been through, you know, built 7 different companies, all of them with my wife, Donna, by the way. And so if you think building a business is a challenge, do it with a spouse. You know, I had to hide all of the knives in the home over the years, but growing your business, this is kind of like, okay, how do we grow a business? I'm going to do a little philosophical stuff at the beginning, and then I'm going to dig into the meat and potatoes. But typically when we start to grow our companies, there's really 3 obstacles, there's 3 solutions, and there's 1 plan. Now, this is not just from my 30 years of building companies. It's also working with hundreds of entrepreneurs over the years, and speaking with, you know, tens of thousands. There's a reality. There is a formula to this. We all don't take the same path when we go to build our businesses, but there's a formula. Typically, the 3 challenges that I see the most, and I'm only going to spend our day today is a sliver of this, but 3 obstacles most entrepreneurs face. Number 1, they struggle with numbers. Hey, that's why Leo Casey has an amazing company. Number 2, they're typically overwhelmed, and if this person over there looks like you know, that's normal, fighting fires. And then number 3, I think it gets really lonely. If you're in, you know, the types of companies I work with typically have sales anywhere from 100 grand to 5 million. It's lonely. It can be tough. And I call this world the circle of pain. The good news is there's 3 solutions. Become a number lover. Now, I know some of you are saying, damn, like I hate numbers. I am married to a woman, wonderful woman, who actually breaks out in tears if she opens a spreadsheet. She starts to scratch and gets a rash. So I get it. Everybody doesn't love numbers. But numbers are important. The leadership and ultimately a strategic plan. I call this the circle of gain. When you talk about the complexity of this, there's a lot of stuff. Breaking it down real simply. Number 1, we need to understand our numbers. We need to build a foundation. Number 2, if you lead your company, if you run a business, your company will never grow beyond you. So it is so important that we continue to grow in addition to our business. And ultimately, there's got to be a strategic plan. There's got to be a game plan to build a business. Today, we're going to talk about one small sliver of this called sales. Now, like I said, I put in the chat box, there's a lot of free stuff. I'm never going to be able to get through all of it today. We're going to touch on a little piece. But if you want to dig through some of these things, I got a really cool ebook called Triple Threat. I have a workbook that allows you to kind of go through and fill in the blanks. It's an editable PDF, so you can do the stuff right there. This is a really good one. 21 questions you must ask to find your ideal client, customer. And this is the thing that we're going to work on today. Again, I'm going to talk through all these different pieces, but ultimately, when you talk about sales, you are selling something to someone. You're solving a problem. That's what all businesses do. So we're gonna dig into this, but ultimately, there are only 3 ways. Number 1, increase the average order. Now, when I go into each of these pieces, I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to actually do a screen share, then I'm going to do a little homework, a little work, and then I'm going to do another screen share. I'm going to dig into more details, share some really good examples that you can use to take back into your company. Increase the average order. Increase the average order for your existing customers. Increase the frequency of order. Increase the frequency of order your existing customers. And then increase the number of customers. Now, it is infinitely more challenging to get a new customer than it is to grow an existing customer. Why is that? Because the existing customer already knows, likes, and trusts you. And that is one of the secret sauces. So why do we want, and now this is part of the fill in the blanks. I'm going to ask 3 questions, put in the chat box where you feel that you are right now. Why do you want to grow your business? Number 1, you want to grow it so that you can reinvest in the company and you want to expand the business. Number 2, you want to grow so that you can attract and retain top talent. The 495 Chamber and Karen did a very good job and recruited some specialists, Carlene, a couple of years ago. And I think she's doing an awesome job. But there's always a reason why you want to grow your business. Number 3, you want to eventually sell the business. And number 4, more time, more money, more freedom, more happiness. So in the chat box, please pop in a 1, 2, 3, or a 4. Just let me, and you can actually put in multiples. There's no rules to today. Let's just have some fun. But let me know where you're at. Because as we go through, I want to try and tailor some of the conversations around where most of the folks are sitting. Kate's a 1, Sheldon's a 4, Demetra's a 4, Catherine, Patrice 1-5, Allison 2-4, 100%, Scott 3-4, Melissa, Leo 4, great, Carlene 1, love it. Okay, and then the second piece is help me understand where you are in your business journey right now. And again, A, B, C, D, E, or an F. I'm a startup, 100K, sales, 2024 sales. you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, or F, I'm not an entrepreneur. And a lot of this stuff that I'm going to share today and talk about is not, you know, it's not only focused toward the entrepreneur, because a lot of the things that I believe in, it's really mindset related stuff. We can put these limitations on ourselves, and oftentimes it's those limitations that hold us back. So where are we at here? We got Jim is a C, Kate, C, B, 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 A, F, A, C, B. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it. Okay, thank you for that. Now, when I start to share some of these strategies, I like to tell stories. I'm a storyteller. So many of the people that I've worked with over the years have been able to take these 3 strategies, average order frequency, order number of customers, and take them into their world. And like, you know, when Sheldon was talking about the purpose of the chamber and growth, prosperity, and quality of life, to me, quality of life wins. At the end of the day, there's no sense in building, and I see this all the time. People are building and running multi-million-dollar companies, and they're miserable. You know, I say it jokingly sometimes on stage, but I have some very rich, successful, dead friends. Kind of tongue in cheek, but it's real. Rich, successful friends on their forced marriage. Rich, successful friends running companies that don't know their children. That's not winning. And so when we go through this journey, like Kim Penny runs this company called One-on-One College Consulting, and I'm talking, what an awesome rock star. She's up in Reading, Mass, crushes it, but she's implemented a lot of these strategies. So, and the other thing I wanted to share, and again, it's in the chat box. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this in there again. But there's, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to, and I thought Leo said he couldn't get the download. Is that still the case, Leo? Were you not able to get that PDF that I put? Good. Okay, awesome. But I got an event coming up in a couple weeks called you know, your 2025 business plan, and this shows a little bit how much of a I don't know, a con artist, but it's telling a story. I'm calling it 1 hour, 1 page business plan, but if you look over to the right, it's actually 2 hours. So don't tell anybody. But we want to have some fun with it. And again, if you do want to grab a call after this, please, you know, you can. I was told that we got to put QR codes on now because I have to be cool. My daughter told me that. She's 24, and I'm apparently not cool anymore. But you got to put QR codes. So let's dig in. Triple threat. Only 3 ways to grow your business. Now, I'm going to get a little philosophical here because in doing the things that I've done over the years that I've done it, I've learned a little bit. Most of the stuff that I've learned is from pain and suffering. But I have this belief system that when we're running and building companies, and I call that belief system the entrepreneur's trilogy. I believe that you and I, as entrepreneurs, star in 3 movies simultaneously: heart set, mindset, skill set. Heart set is our health, which is the one thing we take for granted until it's taken away, our home, friends and family, and our happiness. And if that's not the driving force, it can lead to a lot of pain. And I've experienced the pain personally, and I've experienced it through so many of the entrepreneurs that I've worked with over the years. So paramount, heart set. Mindset is our mind. What is the stuff? No one can deny this. We are who we are because of all the things that have gone into our mind since birth. No one can deny that. So the stuff we put in is super powerful. Our motivation, what drives us, and ultimately, do we take action? Because we can learn a bunch of stuff, but we have to act. So mindset, and then skill set is where we're going to spend some time today. So skill set, and I call this the heartbeat of business. Business can get very complicated with a lot of stuff, but ultimately, we have a product or service that solves a problem. We have an ideal client, a target market, and we have a strategic marketing plan. So today I want to spend some time in the area of the ideal client as well as strategic sales and marketing. So again, this is another chat box question. Can you put into the chat box, and because I forget, my brain doesn't work, I put that little chat box image there, so it helps remind me. So there may be a few of them, but put into the chat box, what problem do you solve? Like, what is every single business on earth solves a problem for someone. So we're not going to dig into the specifics of your business and who you serve and what problem you solve. We're going to touch on the next two steps in this circle, but ultimately, I'd just love to get a sense of where your businesses are and what they do. Kate, safety compliance. Demetra, peace of mind. I hope business is going good for you, because that's a gap. Allison, 100% phenomenal writer. Catherine, funding to help people buy real estate. Leo, remove barriers for business owners, big value, love it. Owen, helping members save and borrow. Oh, this is great. Health and wellness, you're going right after my heart, Patrice. Landscaping, love it. Scott, taxes, and helping business understand the numbers, love that. IT services, Jim, thank you. Awesome, super. So, and we're going to get into a little bit right now. And so number 2 is target market, ideal client, and then number 3 is strategic marketing. And so when you look at your ideal client, I was on a call the other day with someone who I think he was in the IT services business. And I said, can you tell me who your ideal client is? He goes, Mike, anybody that had a whole bunch of people with computers is a client of mine. I'm like, dude, you're in trouble because you can't market to everybody. The types of companies that market to everybody are predominantly the ones that are advertising on the Super Bowl. Most of us need to niche, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And then number 3, strategic marketing. How do you convince your ideal client that you're awesome? So, you know, the key is, and I want to share this because I thought it was kind of funny. I actually bought the book. When we talk about identifying your ideal client, this book was written about, it's called The Man Plan. And so what, in short, what it is, it's like, this is my game plan to attract my ideal client. And it was really cool. I loved the book. It was interesting. I looked at it from a different perspective, but it was very cool. But when we go and we want to take the problem that we solve, risk management, direct mail, IT services, whatever it is, there's a process that we have to go through. And I've created this little graphic called a Savage Staircase. But we have to go through all of this stuff if we want to continue to grow our business, even to get that first customer. Know, like, trust, try. If you can get that in there, awesome. Buy, repeat, refer. If you can do all 7 of these things on the staircase, then you are going to win big. So, like I said, you all put into the chat box the problem that you solve, which is awesome. We're going to go to number 2. I'm going to scroll back a little bit. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this one right now, ideal client, target market. So I'm going to stop my screen share. And have you been able to get that file? I put it into the chat box. Has everyone been able to pull that down or grab that file? I'll pop it in again just to make sure we got it. All right. So if you've been able to, if you see that and you can click on it and open it up, what I want to do is spend just a little bit of time on the file. And because what it does is a little bit of this homework up front really leads us to becoming great at that thing that we're focused on, which is how do I grow sales? So what I don't want to start at the first section because we already talked about that, actually the first 2. But I want to kind of go down to the first set, which is what are the top 5 questions that your ideal client is asking? So if you got the PDF opened up, just pop into there the top 5 questions that your ideal client is asking. Because what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to get better focused. Because when we go through, here is the problem I solve, the next step is not sales and marketing. I hate to break it to you, but it's not running more Facebook ads or doing more Google search or putting more money into other. We have to really understand who our ideal client is and what are the challenges that they're happening. So step 1 is we've already figured out what are the main problems that we're having because you guys just put that into the chat box. But what are the top 5 questions? that your ideal client is asking. And if you get one or two, it doesn't matter. But I want to kind of like squeeze out some ideas as to when I start to focus on who my ideal client is, I want to get really good at that, because ultimately, if my product or service solves a problem, it doesn't solve a problem for everybody. It solves a problem for this one specific person. And the more clear you can be with that person, the better, more clear you can be with your employees, with yourself, as to who he or she is, the better off you're going to be to craft your products or services to reach them. So who would like to, and it's kind of like, going back to school, it's like, who wants to volunteer to show me what they did or tell us what they did this weekend? Just looking for anyone that wants to share what are some of the questions that your ideal client is asking. Who wants to volunteer? I'm gonna do the school thing. I'm gonna end up picking someone. No volunteers. All right. Well, I am gonna pick on someone. I'm gonna pick on Leo.
I share my 3 questions. I don't know if you want me to open the mic or not.
No, just share them, Patrice. I'd love it. Appreciate
Yeah, I
it.
put it on the chat. Oh, you want me to speak? Can I read it?
Yeah, absolutely. Please
okay.
share.
Is this shake really healthy? Because I'm in the health and wellness, so that's the first question people really want to know. And can this shake help me attain my weight or my health, depending on that what health goal you have in mind, right? Most likely you want to be lean, you want to get good muscle, you want to have a good diet. So, and then the third question is, can I afford it, right? How affordable is the shake if I have to drink this every day? So those are my 3 top questions.
Now, if you know, Patrice, that those are the 3 questions that they're asking, do you, in your sales and marketing approach, focus on multiple ways to answer those questions?
Right now, when I was typing it, I'm like, I don't think so.
And that's why we're going through this process, which is okay. But if we can go through and figure out, and again, if you look at the PDF, it says, what are the top 5 questions they are asking, and then what are the top 5 questions they should be asking? Sometimes completely different. And so, but our job as we evolve into sales and marketing is to create methods and strategies to answer those questions. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Just typing it down right now was a different game.
But the point being is again, this isn't, the event today is not, we're not going to, solve all of life's problems. Even though Carlene told me I had to. You have to solve everyone's problems today, Mike. No, I completely get it. But it's to change the way that we're thinking, change necessarily maybe not the way we're thinking, but also our focus. What are the things that we're focused on? What are the things that we think are important, but might not necessarily be as important as we think they are? So again, I just wanted to play with that document, play with that PDF. I think it will really help you solidify who your ideal client is, because the next step, which we're going to go into now, the next step is, okay, I want to be able to have my ideal client purchase my product or service. And that's where the strategy comes in. And that's where there's only 3 ways to do it. All right. So I'm going to jump back in here with the second section. All right. Actually, before I go on, I saw Melissa put some good effort into this. What property management services can I not manage in-house? What image do I want to present at my location? Is there one company I can call for all of my property management services? I'm going to call an audible here. Melissa, would you mind sharing a little bit more about that? Those are great questions.
Thank you. So we have 2 divisions at our company. We started out with landscaping, and now we also have a property management division that does interior and exterior maintenance. And really the key focus of that second company is to be a one-stop shop for anybody, especially who is running a property like a facilities division at a major company, that they can call us for anything. They don't have to deal with multiple invoicing, multiple phone calls. They could call us and say, we have ice at our location, we have a broken window, we have siding that needs repairing, we need sod that needs installing. So that's kind of our focus right now.
Wow, congratulations. That's great. Because I think you're going to appreciate this next section that we get into, because that is what you're just talking about, and what you're doing in your business is really one of the three primary areas that we need to focus on to grow our company.
Okay.
So all right, let's dig into this a little bit more now. And so when I talked about the Entrepreneur's Trilogy, and this being the heart set of business, what's your DNA? What problem you solve? We just talked about that. Next, riches are in the niches. And then third, how do you convince your prospect that you are awesome? Real simple. Real simple to say, not real simple to do. But the three ways: increase your average order. So I'm going to spend some time in each one of these and think about your business. And as I go through these, think about how can I take these ideas and incorporate them into my company. So number one, increase your average order. I'm going to tell stories. Actually, a couple of these actually revolve around alcohol, so that could be a problem. My wife, Donna, and I live in Charlton, and we enjoy going to the 99 restaurant. And the 99 restaurant started this thing maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where they created this really cool word called a quartino. And if you get a glass of wine and you get a normal glass of wine, it's like 6 ounces. Okay, great. When they ask the question, would you like a quartino? I'm like, oh yeah, it's 9 ounces. All right, sure. What the heck? Thinking nothing of it, but my background is engineering. I actually went to local school, WPI. Don't use engineering anymore. But my point is that I'm a nerd, and I know that. So I started to do a little bit of homework. And the 99 has 20 million guests a year. They have 100 locations in the Northeast. A regular 6-ounce glass of wine is $8.99, and a quartino, fancy word, is $12.49. 20 million guests a year. And I did research. I went to multiple restaurants and asked a bunch of questions. 10% order wine. So that's 2 million glasses of wine. Okay. And the upsell, or the, hey, I'll have a quartino rate, is approximately 50%. 1 million quartinos per year at a $2.50 upsell. One question: would you like a quartino? An additional $2.5 million in sales and $1.5 million in profit. Now, these are big numbers, and I'm not saying this is going to magically happen in your world, but if you start to think about your ideal client and what the questions that they're asking, just like what Melissa just talked about, well, we're doing this. Hey, how about if we can do this as well? One question was worth $1.5 million. May not be worth $1.5 million in your business, but it's worth money. It's worth spending time digging in. Number two, and I'm going to share, these are like fun things for me. I call this the retail maze. This did not exist a decade ago. You walk into a store. Actually, this kind of thing did exist. You go grocery shopping and you're checking out. What do they do? What was, who was it? Patrice was saying, they have right in front of, as you're checking out, they have apples and they have bananas and they have all sorts of healthy food, right? I don't think so. They have junk food. But what happens is you're standing there, they stick this stuff in front of you. What percentage buy? Don't know, but it's a lot. This is a new thing. Saw this at Dick's Sporting Goods. The sign actually said, please wait here for the next available cashier. I transformed the sign. Buy more stuff while I make you stand in line. And if you've been to a Dick's lately, it is fascinating. Absolutely love it. But it's not my favorite. My favorite is TJ Maxx. Now, not like I don't go there. I refuse to walk into the store. My wife, Donna, absolutely loves it. It's kind of like a holiday. I'm like, this is nauseating, but I'm not the ideal client. When you walk and try and check out of TJ Maxx, are you kidding me? Like, you can't even find your way out. You get stuck. You get lost. It blows my mind. But think about the number of retail locations. TJ Maxx owns Home Goods and a couple others. Think about the number of retail locations, and they've perfected this. They've perfected it, in my opinion. How many millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in net profit drop to the bottom line because they are doing what? They're increasing the average order. Brilliant. And again, think about your business. I know those are kind of like big companies, but the point is, think about in your company, what are the different things I can do to increase my average order? The important thing on this slide is existing customers. Now, you've already gone through the process with existing customers. I mean, some may not have, repeat types of business, but, say you're in lawn care, say you're in, whatever. You don't want someone to hire you to take care of their property one day. You want to try and increase the average order with that customer. Because if you already have someone that knows, like, and trusts you, please, I'm begging you, capitalize on that, because that is the hardest thing in any business to do, is to get someone to know, like, and trust you. I forgot about this. So this is a managed service provider, guy that I've worked with for a couple of years now. What he did was he looked at, okay, here are all the list of services that I have, and here's all the list of my customers, and he created a matrix. And this matrix has been incredibly powerful, meaning you ask the question C, customer C, of all of the products and services that I have, which ones are you buying? Customer D, and you go through the process. Why is this important? Because they already are buying from you. They already know, like, and trust you. That is rare as diamonds. That's what creates greatness in entrepreneurs. All right, number 2, increase the frequency of orders. I love this one just as much as I love the first one, because it's the creatives that really, really dominate. This is super important. If you want to increase the frequency of order, it has to be fast, it has to be easy, it has to be convenient. You think about drive-throughs. Drive-throughs didn't used to exist. Now drive-throughs are a science. They actually have a science. It's not like one drive-through. You have the stop drive-through, and then you have the next drive-through, and then you have the person that actually gives you the damn food. So absolutely brilliant, but it speeds things up. Share a couple of stories, real life Mike stories. Love soda water. It's kind of my thing. I have this right here. But what did I do? I used to go to BJ's and buy these big honking things, and it's slow. It's difficult to, inconvenient. You got to lug these things around, and plus it's wasteful. So Mike asked a question. Is there an alternative? I don't get commission from SodaStream. I'm just sharing. They thought through this. And what SodaStream did, got this SodaStream container, and what it does, it comes with CO2 cartridges, and it gives you bubbles, I like bubbles. But here's how it works. They send you 2 of these CO2 cartridges. You put them into your machine, and you get sparkling water. Now, the best part of this is, okay, well, what do you do, Mike, when your CO2 cartridges are empty? They've made it so convenient. They give you the box. They give you the UPS return label. They make it so simple so that you have 1 at your house and then you send 2 back. They've made it so simple and easy where they send you the box, they give you the UPS label, and all you have to do is stick it in your mailbox. And what happens? They automatically charge your credit card, and it arrives in your mailbox within 7 days. Brilliant, brilliant. Another one. I'm fortunate at this point. I still have a kid in college, so I'm not mowing my lawn. He's doing it. But I think I have a really cool lawnmower. Now, every year, you need to take care of your stuff. So the lawnmower company, every single year, November 1st, I can show you the emails. Every single year. Mike, would you like a tune-up this year? What? Now, this is like year 7 or 8. I'm going through this. I say yes. They pick it up. Stick the mower out in the driveway. They pick it up. They analyze it. They email me a quote. Pretty cool. Then they tune it up. They email the invoice. They charge the credit card, and then they drop off the mower at my house. Wow. Talk about fast, easy, and convenient. Now, again, something to think about in your business. How can I make the frequency of buying from my ideal client faster, easy, more convenient? Those first two things talk about existing customers. Let's get into the third one, the beast. And the beast, I hate to say it, is where most people spend their time. I got to get new clients. I got to get new clients. Look, yes, we all want to build our business. We all want new clients, but increasing the number of customers is the single most challenging thing you can do in business. Remember that staircase we talked about? Know, like, and trust, try, buy, repeat, refer, doesn't exist. There's none of that. And on top of that, I don't care what you're selling. This is a great book, by the way, Sticky Branding, loved it, dove in. Only 3% of the people are active buyers of what you have to sell right now. 7% are getting close. The other 90%, you got, they may never buy, they don't care, and they just don't want your stuff. It's very challenging to get here. Now, the important thing, we have to understand that marketing and sales are not the same thing. We want to use a strategic marketing approach to attract our ideal client, to get them into our world, but it's not the same. I'm going to do a little analogy, kind of like from that book that I showed earlier, Ideal Man 101 or whatever it was. But if you think about marketing, you have your product or service and you have your ideal client. How do you go through that know, like, and trust and try ladder? In relationships, I'm making this relationship based. You do cuddling on the couch, you do chocolates, you go for walks, you have dinners. That is the marketing piece of this. This is sales. Now, if you've done a really good job at strategic marketing, guess what? Is sales difficult? It's not. So when you get to the point, this is the buy piece. So in order to get a new customer, the third piece, average order frequency, order number of customers. The third piece is always the most challenging because you have to go through the know, like, and trust process. Now, when you think about strategic marketing, if you think about the type of things that you can do, there's a lot of stuff, right? You can spend a lot of time. It usually, I don't care what you do, requires a lot of time and it requires a lot of money. But there's a whole bunch of things that we can do to grow our companies. My challenge to you is pick 3. Don't get overwhelmed by all this stuff. Like, this is exactly where I started. Every single one of my companies I ever built started this way. Now, I'm just going to share an example of my business and the know, like, and trust factor that I go through. Now, there's a lot of stuff. I do a bunch of different things to try and find my ideal client and have him or her know, like, and trust me. These are some of the things that I do. You notice the green. What is that? Zoom workshops. So when Sheldon reached out and Carlene blessed this, I'm like, yeah, I'd love to do it. The know, like, and trust. And again, I want you to think about this, not about me and my business. Think about you and your business. What are the different things you can do to get your ideal client to know, like, and trust you? I create blogs. I do speaking all over the world, social media posts, I create lead magnets. I do email marketing, social media stuff. Testimonials, case studies, a lot of things, digital courses, events like this. I've got another event coming up soon. I'm writing a business plan, but I do all of this stuff. And there are others that are doing the same thing. And I want to share another couple of clients that are really absolutely crushing it because they got super focused on the know, like, and trust aspect. Not only did they get focused, as you'll see with this one, Josh runs a great company, a construction business. He gets very creative too. He goes into a neighborhood, and if he's doing construction, what they do is he goes to if there's 50 homes in the neighborhood, he goes to all 50 homes and puts this little hanger on their door. And what does the hanger say? Hey, I just want to let you know I'm in the neighborhood. I want to make absolutely certain that I don't bother you. I don't influence you. I don't, if I'm in the way, if any of my trucks, any of my people are in the way, please let me know. And then he puts his picture of his little kids there. So what does that do? That's automatically creating an emotional bond to him and his company. Then they also put this sign up, and notice that the printing is really small. Now, if you see something like this in your neighborhood, you're driving by, what do you typically think? Houses for sale, right? But they do the text really small. So when people drive by, they see that it's a construction company. So again, just another extremely creative way to get past or to create that know, like, and trust. The other thing is, if there's someone in the neighborhood that's already using them, Hey, man, someone else in the neighborhood using them. I think that's awesome. And this is, you know, people say, Mike, why do you do what you do? This is why I do what I do. Never had the opportunity to, he never had the opportunity to take his family on one of these kick-ass vacations. And so he did. He took his young kids and went down to Disney World, you know, rented like this high-end place and at the very top. And it was a $20,000 a week. $20,000 a week. And then he sends me a text. First time in my life I went on vacation, did not worry about the cost. So to me, again, that's my why. Everybody's got a different why in business, but that's my why. So I'm gonna close with this. There really are only 3 ways to grow your company. And it may seem like there's hundreds of thousands of them. But one of the biggest mistakes that I think so many entrepreneurs make is they don't focus. And if there's only 3 ways, how can I pick? First off, I would strongly recommend 1 and 2. Why? Because you're already talking to your ideal client. You're already talking to a customer that's yours. So start there. Now, like I said, the biggest mistake I think that we make is oftentimes we go to stuff and learn things. It's not the learning, it is the execution. You know, got this great quote I stick actually on my wall. Knowledge is not power. Execution is power. If you know something and you don't act, it doesn't matter. So I'm challenging you to have a focus, a powerful focus on sales. And when I say powerful focus, I don't mean just, hey, I think I want to do sales. No, go to your calendar and lock it in. You know, spend time in figuring out what you want to do with your team, with your employees, how you want to reach out to them. What are the different things that you can do? Make sales a priority, because oftentimes it's not. Oftentimes you get busy doing the day-to-day stuff. Make sales a priority. So, like I said, I'm going to put this back in the chat box. This is a good ebook that I wrote. I think you'll like it. This is a great workbook. 21 questions to ask. You can and you can download this. You can go. There's a link that you can download all 4 of these. There's another link. I'll put this in the chat again. If you're interested in writing your business plan, I've got an event coming up in 2 weeks. And if you're interested in grabbing a breakthrough call, we can do that too. So I'm done. I'm energized. I'm fired up. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So hopefully you're able to get a little knowledge out of that. So please, any questions, any ideas, any thoughts, let me know.
Mike, thank you.
What resonated with you? I'd love that.
Mike, that was terrific. There was so much, and we have a few minutes, 10 minutes or so. So I open it up certainly to questions. If people have comments, questions, just jump in. Leo, you look like you were trying. You were
I'm
muted.
sorry. Mike, I have a question. You know, one of the things that I think is important, you know, you talk about focus, 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 and what I do, it's all about focus. And I can tell you that, you know, to me, that's probably the most difficult thing for business owners to do, is they get caught up in the fires of the day and they have a hard time thinking ahead. And, you know, one of the things that I try to do, and it's probably not applicable to everybody here, is I put 8 reasons why possibly it might be the barriers to future success. And I just have them look at it. And I have them identify any of these, and I just shut up. I don't say anything. And they pick out 2 or 3 of them, and before I know it, I've got 2 or 3 problems that they've identified that I didn't know about before. So, you know, I think it's really important to try to get to the heart of the matter. Why did they want to talk to you in the first place? And, you know, you've kind of outlined, you know, some good thinking here about focus, focus, focus. I find that people have a very hard time focusing. They focus on too many things, and they don't get any of them done. So I'm sorry.
Well, but in fairness, Leo, that's why you're good at what you do. You know,
Well,
it's like the reality is that our job, you know, in what you and I do is help other people build companies. We have to ask good questions.
Yep.
And that's why that first little project I gave was, you know, what are the questions that your ideal client is asking? Because it ultimately comes down to asking questions, because, you know, people can say stuff on the surface. I really, you know, who was it that was the fitness person? Is he still here? I don't think he's here. But you know, I am a health and fit.
Is it Patrice you're looking for?
Oh, Patrice, yeah. And I know you're talking about health and wellness. I'm a health and fitness nut. My wife and I have been health and fitness nuts forever. Like 3 of our companies were in the fitness and exercise arena. What's the greatest day of the year for us? The greatest day of the year. January 2nd, right? January 2nd. If you own a health club, if you own a fitness, exercise, January 2nd is the greatest day of the year. Everybody's so jacked and energized. Focused. This is the year for me. And then 6 weeks later, you have 50% of people there. And they've done studies. 12 weeks later, you have 18% of the people that started a gym membership are continuing to go. So what you're saying, Leo, is dead on, because there has to be a focus. But the thing is, it's got to be a focus on the important stuff. We can't stay, I'm busy. Busy doing what? It's like, how do we focus? How do we pick those key things that we need to focus on? And as we're talking about, growing our business and sales, it's like, and I said this, and Kate put it in there, existing customers. Like, step one, don't go try and reinvent the world. If you want to grow your business, if the goal is I want to grow customers, that's completely different, because there are many businesses, many business models, SaaS businesses and app businesses, all about growing customers. Doesn't matter, existing customers. But most businesses are service-based businesses. And if you can focus on your existing customers, you can grow your business that way. Who was it that said something? Melissa, you said something about you had a business and you were expanding the business. Now, like, oh, how can I get more people to say, hey, I want all of these things? Is that kind of how you went after this and approached this? And Melissa is MIA. That's okay.
I am so sorry. I actually just had to take a phone call the second you were asking that question.
Oh, cool. No, I was talking about like existing clients and what more can I do for them?
Yes.
Was that your approach, and how did you go after it?
What more can I do for them? So right now, I actually was just typing out a question that I had for you, and it was more, one of our issues is that we frequently encounter bid situations where it's just a fundamentally impersonal process, especially when you're dealing in a more commercial arena. So that is an issue for us where, we know our reputation and we know fundamentally what we can do. Like I said, we're really a one-stop shop, but in those situations, it's very challenging to create a personal, personal bond with customers when they're just looking at pricing.
Yeah, well, but that's a great question, right? How can I depersonalize this? Like the guy from Renovista. How do you depersonalize? I'm fixing your kitchen. You know what I mean? So he made it emotional. What's the name of your business, Melissa?
We are Peroni Landscaping and Peroni Facility Solutions. We're 2 different divisions for landscaping and then construction.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Mike, this has been terrific. In fact, I was going to say, if you, like you said before, early on, increasing the value of your customer, if there's, so that's obviously that's less expensive than finding a new customer, is if you can increase that revenue, and which our folks have been trying to do that, and you can't do it in every business, but you certainly, if you can, it's a worthwhile thing. So
no, that's oftentimes that's why companies buy other companies. It's like, okay, well, there's an economy of scale. If I can take this and I can bolt it onto this, like I love the Uber story. I don't know if you know the depth of the Uber story. How did it start out? Well, we do rideshare. They've got like 8 brands. 8 different companies. It went to Uber Eats, it went to Uber. But what they did was they created this reputation, this thing called Uber. And, well, geez, if I like Uber doing this, maybe I'm going to like Uber doing that. Again, different ways, same client that, hey, I need a ride home from a restaurant. And, oh, by the way, next week, I want you to send me the food from the same restaurant. Brilliant.
All right. That's great. So thank you so much. And I just wanted to, if it's okay, Carly, I just kind of do some wrap up, but the next day or so, all participants will receive a recording of the webinar, I believe, right, Carleen? And with that, there'll be a questionnaire. If you can fill out the questionnaire, it'll help us, help the committee plan these and future seminars. And I think that's pretty much it. We're kind of right on time,
Mhm.
running up to it. If there's anything else, Carleen or Mike want to add, or
Another webinar that is coming up in January, you might want to mark your calendars down for this because it was just sent to me a few minutes ago. 9:30 to 10:30 on January 15th, we'll have Joe Bertulis from for Employment Law Updates 2025. Really important to listen in on that one.
yeah, that's always good. So you can make sure you're compliant in the new year because there's all kinds of surprises.
Absolutely.
that come about from that.
And Mike, can't thank you enough. Always fantastic. Loved it.
Well, my pleasure. Looking forward to the Christmas party coming up in a couple weeks and,
Yes.
doing the fun part of business.
Yep. If you haven't registered yet, Holiday Snowball, there's not too many spots left if you haven't registered, so register now. December 11th from 5 to 8 at Doubletree Hotel. And thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. Good luck in
Thank you.
2025.
Thank
Thank
you.
Mike.